Okay, so I guess we're live. How's everybody doing? It's Edwin with Strictly Comics, and what you are tuning into is my first live chat. I want to introduce some people that I have on the panel today. I want to start out with Jose. We got Jose with comics and stuff. This guy presses so well, he's going to want to make you go to the distributor and slap everybody in the factory. We also have Justin here, who is also a editor and writer for comicbooked.com. He writes a lot of great stuff. He also has a YouTube channel, EXILESTATE Comics. So check him out. And then also we have, last but not least, the new kid or new woman on the block. We have Rez joining us. Rez is a specializer in indie titles, and she's actually gotten the interest of a lot of people in the comic book community for not just comic book titles, the indie title scene, but also for the fact that she is one of the rare comic book women that are out there. We don't see too much, so thank you so much, Rez, for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So why don't we go ahead and just start out introducing everybody. Let's go ahead and start out with Jose. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself, Jose?
About myself, I'm a Cancer, and I've been doing this comics and stuff for a little over a year now. As far as pressing goes, I've been doing that for several years now. I've been collecting comics since early 80s, late 70s. I'm 47 years old. But I'm looking forward to this show, man. I'm glad you guys have me on as a panelist, so let's do this.
But you're also an inker, right? You're also an inker.
Yes, actually, yeah, thanks for mentioning it. I am a member of GOBK Studios, Grumpy Old Bastard Comics. I started off as their social media coordinator and moved up to inker / colorist. So that's what we're doing over there, GOBK Studios. Thank you. Come check us out.
All right, fantastic. So up next is Justin. Justin, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh no. Oh man. I'm just a comic book fan all around. I think when I started reading like the late '80s, I would say, and then collected forever, fell off of it, got back into it, and I've been doing YouTube maybe for a year and a half or so, maybe two, closer to two, and then I've been working on comicbook.com for about 2 years solid now, and been the managing editor over there for over a year. So a lot of fun stuff, getting to meet, you just go to conventions and talk to people, and it's great. That's the reason I got back into it and started doing the YouTube channel at the same time, was to get that connection with other comic book readers and talk about what we're reading and talk about stories that we used to like, and stuff like that. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And last but not least, let's get Rez. Rez, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Rez, and I call my channel Rez Reads, where I'm sorry about that. Where
Oh, good.
I thought she was asleep. But where I actually review a lot of comics, graphic novels, things that are not really heard of or have been just long forgotten. Yeah, and I'm just like a comic book enthusiast. I like to collect a lot and read a lot, so that is my thing.
Yeah, and I saw your last video, the what was it, a large comic book haul. So
Yeah.
why don't we segue into that, because I'm kind of interested to see what everybody's picking up. We saw a little bit about what you were picking up in your last video. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I picked up quite a bit. I picked up the newest omnibus from Terry Moore, his Rachel Rising, which is supposed to be a really, really good series. I was recommended by several people to pick that up. And I had quite a few old DC Vertigo finds that were recommended to me as well, and some that I happenstanced upon that I'm really excited about, like Scarab and Faces by Peter Milligan, which I don't know if you guys know about, but he's a pretty good writer. I enjoy a lot of his stuff, and I also picked up some manga / comics. So those are a little new to me. I'm usually just into manga, but manga comics, that's a great fusion of the two.
Okay, so one of the things that I was actually interested in, because I saw Rez's video, I actually saw Jose and what he has in the background. And I have to ask you guys, does anybody own a TV? Or does everybody just read comics?
Gotta have a TV, man.
Yeah, I got two.
I have a TV, but ever since my son was born, who's almost 2 years now. Actually, he will be 2 years old Monday coming. Forget, I gotta let go of the remote, man. It's gotta watch Mickey Mouse Club and all that stuff. So the TV's there. I just can't see it.
Aren't you glad that Barney isn't popular anymore?
Oh, dude, I hated Barney with a passion. I started a petition to kill him off. What was that other show? Teletubbies?
Oh God, no!
Did
Don't
those
talk
guys
about that.
look like they were on some psychedelic drugs? I'm serious about it.
I used to love
Probably were.
Lala.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! All right, so Justin, you're up next. Who's what are you picking up at the comic book store? What have you been picking up lately? Back issues, modern? What's going on?
That's this week's haul.
Sweet.
I think it's 13 books, like 6 DC, 2 Image, 2 other indies, and 3 Marvel. I mean, Marvel's been like, I've only been getting like 2 to 3 Marvel books a week for the last couple weeks, so I wonder if that's happening with everybody.
Have you already started reading?
Oh, no. I haven't started reading anything from this week yet, but definitely really psyched to jump into Batman and see the last part of that. Same thing with Superman, see the last part of Superman and Son, see how that story wraps up. And then, really excited to jump into like Skyborn, new book that came out this week from Boom Studios, and also, Alters that came out from Aftershock. Just want to check these new books out and see how they're doing.
Yeah, I saw that on your last video that you posted.
Mm-hmm. Back issues wise, though, I'm really digging. Let me get this. Trying to finish out some Thors, man.
Nice.
Just talking about Thor. But I got this is 363, just a good book, and then 388 is an awesome book. It's like Thor versus the Celestials, and Thor actually goes inside one of the Celestials for half of the issue. It's ridiculously awesome.
And and please forgive me, guys. I tend to go on a little bit of a few rabbit trails here and there, but I think you bring up a good point, Justin. Because so let's say you're at the comic book store, you get the newest whatever modern comic that just came out that Wednesday, but then you also see some back issues. Like, what's the first thing you go to read? Do you go to read the modern comic to kind of keep up with things, or do you just go to that back issue that just caught the gleam in your eye?
6 months ago, I would have said go with the new one, just because stories and things like that. But I think I find a little bit more joy in the back issues and reading stories that maybe I read before at some point, maybe I haven't, or if it's a completely new story, and just seeing how those characters were, because a lot more happened. It feels like in those books than the books we get now, which are just pushing it to the next issue, pushing the conclusion to the next issue,
Trying to get all your money on.
Yeah.
For shits and giggles, I want us all to try this out. Read an old book, let's say like a Bronze Age book, and time yourself. Time yourself how long it takes to read the whole book, and then do the same with a modern age book. Because that's one thing I noticed is back in the day, my father would take me to flea markets and I'd pick up stack of books, and I'd come back home. I had no life, I was a hermit, and I'd have my cheese and my milk next to my bed, and I'd just read books. But what I guess to make a long story short, the books these days, I read them within 8-10 minutes, whereas back in the day, 20-30 minutes. So I don't know, it's weird.
No, that's a good point because I was watching a video from somebody and they were talking about the rereadability of older comic books compared to newer comic books. And Rez, you could probably agree with this that the rereadability is probably there more with an older issue than it is with a newer one, unless of course the newer one has just a fantastic story, like maybe something like Saga. My wife, she's actually read Alex and Ada. I don't know if anybody's reading Alex and Ada, but she's really liked that. But I mean, I completely agreed with the video. I found like the back issues had such a better rereading ability than like newer comics.
Yeah, I do agree. I noticed that when I'm reading the older stories, it has a lot more material to digest. And I noticed with the newer ones, they're relying a little bit less on text and I guess, and for you to actually get enveloped into the story, and you're kind of just present with these pictorial depictions on how to interpret the story. So I guess it's a lot, it's not as immersive, I suppose, or it's just kind of, I guess the way storytelling has just changed up. It kind of just makes the reader kind of do a little more legwork, I suppose, instead of stuff being set up for you. As with the older comics, just for example, I dug into a David Mack Daredevil run, and I noticed that they actually recapped earlier issues, which I thought was really nice because I didn't know what happened before, and reading what happened and what led to the point that they're at now. And it took me longer to read that than it would like a Paper Girls issue, which would take maybe a few minutes. So if that makes sense, I completely agree with you.
Totally.
Yeah, I think you enjoy the comic much more when you're able to spend more time on it.
Nerdy Vision goes, did it take longer back then to read comics because we were stupid and focused on how awesome the pictures were? I'm actually dumber now, so.
Yeah. No, I think, along the same lines, especially if you look at most of the Rebirth books, a lot of them are up to issue 5 or 6 now, but those, because they're bi-weekly, there's really no content there. You need to read 2 of them to feel like you've read one older book, So that's kind of bad. Image, I think, does a good job. Most of their books are pretty wordy.
Yeah, I think they do a good job.
Or they like to give you
I don't want to skip. Yeah. I don't want to say, Jose, what have you been picking up? Have you gotten anything lately?
Dude, oh my goodness, man! I've yet to go to my LCS, and it turns out one of my LCSs is gonna do a humongous sale on Sunday, and he's only catering to, his quote unquote prime customers. So I'm not even gonna be able to do that. So to answer your question, man, I haven't had any time to get to the LCS. Haven't. But anyways, to add on to that comic book topic, and the music was much better back in the day too, especially rap days. Rap today sucks.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was actually thinking about what question I could ask, what random question. I was actually thinking about if anybody actually listens to music while they read comics, and like what music do you listen to?
Yes. I got a classical for studying on Pandora Station, and I'll set that on and just burn through all my books for the week. And it's just, I don't know, it helps, man. It blocks everything else out, and you're just reading.
I like listening to Led Zeppelin. Seriously, I love Led Zeppelin.
Oh man.
I think then I would be rocking too much.
Or do you?
I find the peace and quiet and the serene, quietness of, my environment is the best for me when I'm reading. If because usually I have the kids and that's music enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So, I would love to play some Nirvana while I'm reading, but
there you go.
It's not gonna happen.
Nice, nice. All right, so let's go ahead and get on to the next topic. Next topic is actually Death of X. Now, Jose, I know you're probably more of a back issue reader, but you can completely relate with this because X-Men has been around for what, 50 years at least? What are we going on now? Like
What, from
maybe
60?
is it 55?
At
Did
least.
they come
It
out in
started
63? 62 or
63.
63?
263.
Yeah, so we're coming across this whole Death of X thing. I just saw in my comic book shop yesterday how they're already promoting it, Death of X in October. Justin, do you want to take off with this? Because I think that you have a lot more insight and info on this topic.
Yeah, okay. When I initially heard of Death of X, I was pissed off because you can't kill off the X-Men, right? But then I actually read what this event is about. So whatever's going on in X-Men right now, nothing's going to change. What this is, Death of X, is going to tell us what happened to like Cyclops and the X-Men versus Inhumans war that took place, during the 8 months. We don't know of anything that's happening at after Secret Wars. So we're just basically going to be given a history lesson at this point.
Are you guys disappointed about it or like whatever?
I'm
really
relieved.
upset about it, but I don't know what Justin knows though.
Justin knows a lot that we don't know.
No. I'm telling you what I know. But I'm saying I'm relieved.
Can you be saying without spoiling it?
No, I mean, I don't have any like details other than maybe, the big hope for this whole event is to figure out where Cyclops is. Because he's supposed
Okay, so that's what everything kind of revolves around?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I mean, because in my opinion, I thought this is what they were going to do. You killed Wolverine, but then you got Wolverine from the future. Cyclops is dead, but then you get Cyclops from the past. I thought they were going to just like completely eliminate everybody past, present, future, completely just do away with the entire X unit. So I did read up on some things that they were not necessarily going to kill everybody, but they were going to put other people in various titles, which, Justin, you've said that they've been doing already. So that was kind of what I thought they were going to do with the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we got... Well, I mean, because you think about it already. They're saying they're going to place characters in other titles. We've got Rogue and Deadpool that are basically on the Uncanny X-Men. No, the Uncanny Avengers. So they're on the Avengers team. They're not doing anything with the X-Men. We've got other ones doing other stuff that I can't think of. But so that's already happened. That's why I'm saying there won't be any impact from this story. So it's kind of like a lame duck story because they're telling us something that happened in the past.
So you think they're going to drag it out or they're just going to come to a quick end to just wrap it up? What do you think?
No, it has to have a defined end. Like, it has to.
Yeah, because it's only, what, a
doing
3 or 4
bi-weekly. Yeah, but it's every week, pretty much.
Oh, so that's pretty quick. Yeah, they're going to wrap it up fast.
Well, because they're going to have, like, multiple events going on at the same time. Because Dead No More from Spider-Man starts around the same time. So all the Spider-related books will be doing that.
Those bastards.
I know.
I
wore a Spider-Man shirt anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's pretty sweet looking. Hey, show it up again?
It's McFarlane. What?
Very cool. That's Spider-Man 1, right? I wore my Flash.
There you go. Because you're speedy.
I got Ninja Turtles on, so...
There you go. All right, Rez, I guess you're...
Well, I got that because of Kevin Eastman going to be here this weekend, so...
Very cool, man. You going to get some signatures on there?
Well, I'm going to try. Kevin Eastman, I think he gives you the first one for free and then $20 for each one after that. So I'll be pretty limited as far as what I get if that's the case this year. But that's how it was when he was here 20 years ago. I mean, a couple years ago, 2 years ago.
Hey, I don't know if you guys are interested or not, but Trinity Comics is doing facilitating Romita Senior signatures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I might have to go ahead and do a quick ASM 129 press and send that bad boy to get Romita's signature on there. For sure.
Wow, I had no idea they were doing that.
Yeah, yeah. But you got to have your books out to him, or to them, I should say, in the next week or so. So something to think about. Trinity Comics, you can find them on Facebook.
Okay. All right. Absolutely. So, Death of X. Does anybody have anything else to say about that? I think it's one of those things where there's not really a whole lot to talk about. It's just one of those things that you have to wait until it comes out, and then once it comes out, obviously there'll be a lot to discuss. I think right now it's just all speculation on what they're going to do and what they're not going to do, and I think there's a lot of people pissed off of it, but.
Well, I mean, the whole premise of it is to bring in the Inhumans, right?
Well, no. It's just telling us stuff that's already happened. Like all the number ones after Secret Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like we're in like issue 11 of most of those books now, or 8 or 11 or whatever.
Right.
Right. All this Death of X stuff happened before issue 1 of all those books.
Okay.
So does it have any bearing on what we're reading right now? No, it can't, because it happened in the past.
Interesting.
So that's my thing, especially, and also with the fact that it's coming out so fast. Will it be worth it to buy the single issues, or do you just wait for the trade?
Well, as a reseller, you might want to get the book.
Well, you know what they're going to do. They're going to have a crap load of variants is what they're going to do. They're going to try to sell a bunch of those, too.
Talking about Inhumans, Nerdy Vision asks, Beast is an Inhuman, right? He is?
He's in the Inhuman book now.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware.
So is, what's his name? Human Torch. Human Torch is pulling double duty. He's in an Inhuman book and an Avengers book. So
he's no longer Division? What happened with him?
Human Torch?
Yeah, you know how the Human Torch became.
Well, that was the original android, not Johnny Storm.
I always get them confused. My age.
Yeah, but so like the Thing and Johnny Storm are hanging out with Inhumans and stuff right now because Reed and Sue and the kids are off creating universes.
Yeah, they're creating babies.
They're with their kids.
Hey man, when you got the ability to stretch, you can do wonder. You know, make things happen.
She's invisible.
And she is invisible.
Yeah, right. All right. So, anybody there doing any conventions still, or got any conventions you've been to already this year that you guys want to talk about? The reason why I say this is because I'm going to be going to the Amazing Houston Comic Con this weekend. We got Chris Claremont that's going to be there. You got Evan Eastman. You got Chad Harden is going to be there. And Sam De La Rosa, of course. Sam De La Rosa. Probably going to go buy some of them. But what's the convention scene like for you guys right now?
Well, I did the Tampa Bay Con beginning of last month. That was awesome. That was freaking great. I finally got to meet Neil Adams. He was pretty. You know how people talk about Neil Adams, man, but he was great, man. He treated me and my family great. I gave him a lot of my money though, but but it was great meeting him. I met George Perez. Man, that guy, talk about workhorse, man. From the beginning of the con to the end, he was at his desk, at his booth, just doing commissions and all. Met Peter King, got a couple of signatures from Peter King on my Hulk 340, 388. Bob Layton was there too. So it was fun for me because there was a lot of people I've never even met before that I finally got to meet. Yeah, so that was the last convention I was at.
Yeah, you mentioned some pretty iconic individuals. Justin, what about you? Have you been to any conventions this year?
Yep. Been to MomoCon, which is here in Atlanta. It started off as like an anime and gaming, but it's kind of grown into everything pop culture. So I've been to it for the last couple years in a row, and you get a lot of the Atlanta guys. So I mean, but I'm lucky. There's a lot of comic book artists and writers that live in Atlanta, because we'll get Van Jensen showing up there. We'll get Matt Williams, who does colors from Image. He works on Thor right now. He's a colorist over there. We get Mark Bagley will show up. I mean, so it's just you don't even have to have like a major con here, and you'll still pull in some really, really, you know, awesome talent, or just people that you've always really wanted to meet. And then, of course, last weekend, Labor Day, was Dragon Con. So Dragon Con, the biggest thing in the world. It is massive, man. You got 2 floors of a huge mart type place in Atlanta that's just dealers rooms, and then you have 5 hotels with all their ballrooms and conference rooms filled up with all your panels and your artist alley and all that kind of stuff. So basically, Dragon Con is a weight loss thing because you have to walk so much.
Yeah, you definitely got to bring your running shoes when you go to a convention. That's for sure.
And it's getting to the point, though.
It's in the hills.
Yeah. Oh, Atlanta is up, and you would think it would be flat. Man, it's up and down, up and down. But
they need to have a convention in underground, since underground is kind of like useless right now.
yeah, they're just bombing.
How long has the Atlanta convention been going around?
Dragon Con, the largest con in the Southeast. I don't know, like 20-something years.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty established.
I think I went to my first one in like '98.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. And then
Go ahead. No, I wasn't gonna give my.
No. And then I got November. There's Heroes and Villains Con, which kind of seems like a Wizard World type thing. It seems like it's got a lot of money backing it, because they're bringing in a whole bunch of like TV people. So we'll see how that one is.
What about you, Rez? Have you been to any conventions this year?
I haven't been to any this year. I wanted to go to the one in Maryland, but that was going to be way too long of a drive. But they do have a con here locally that'll be going on next month. So fingers crossed that I'll be able to go and see what it's going to be like. It's going to be very small.
What's the name of that con?
Huh?
What's the name of that convention?
Oh, you know what? I think it's just the name of the city, Fayetteville. I think it's Fayetteville.
Okay. The reason why I asked is because the smaller will be cheaper, and when you get into, obviously the bigger they get, the more expensive they get. I've seen cons that are like $45, $55 just for one day.
Well, that's how the ones in Charlotte are. They're pretty expensive. They had Charlie Adler, who does the illustrations for Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
He was up here just a few months ago.
Okay, which leads me to another question. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't really go to conventions. If you had to pick 3 things to take to a convention with you, what do you guys think those 3 things? Like the first 3 things, the main 3 things that you need to take with you, what are they?
For me, oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, you go. Ladies first. Ladies first.
Thank you. Well, I would definitely bring like a big tote, a huge tote, or like my big army book bag, so I can fit as much stuff in it as possible. And then I would have a stroller so I can strap those kids in.
Oh, let me tell you something, Rez. I did that with my wife and kids.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, she had to stay at the hotel Sunday. I was like, it was too much. It was too much.
I have a feeling it's gonna be that way. That's what I'm saying. Let's hope this is gonna go good, because I may have to get a babysitter.
If you can get one of those, I don't know how old your kids are, but if you could get those backpacks where you put one kid in the front and then one kid in the back, then you're good to go. You're good to go.
yeah, I used to do that all the time. But they're a little too old now, so they may hurt my back.
Well, man, tell them to watch themselves. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what you do want to bring to a con?
Yeah.
Like you said, a tote or something to that effect?
Yeah.
A backpack for sure. Money, because everything is cash. If you're planning on getting signatures, a bunch of different colored markers.
Uh-huh.
And Oh, and make sure your phone's nice and charged up because you're gonna want to take pictures. You want to take video.
Amen.
Oh
So
man, I didn't think about that.
make sure that cell phone is charged up, and if you could bring an extra battery.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you're going to be listening to your cell phone a lot, like standing in line, especially if you're big into signatures and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Ours
and
like an amusement park, waiting in those lines.
oh,
Mhm.
dude, it can get a little tedious after a while, but you know, it's good to do a little networking, meet people, you know.
Yeah.
But it can become a little boring after a while waiting online. But when
Justin,
you're
what about you? Oh, go ahead, Jose. No, go ahead, man.
no, but when you're waiting for the likes of Charlie Cox and Elodie Young, then you don't mind waiting a little longer in line. You know, Electra.
Hopefully one of these days I can get my stuff signed by the person I'm actually watching them do it. That would be so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm sorry, Justin. All you, brother.
Oh, comfortable shoes.
Oh
There
yeah,
you go.
flip flops.
I don't know about that. I want my toes covered because there's too many people. Like
Oh yeah.
like a Saturday at a con, you're walking through the dealer room packed in like sardines. Like you really are. Like if you just want to go and kind of leisurely stroll around, wait till Sunday before they close.
Okay.
But Saturday is like most Saturdays at any con, that's the day where the most people are coming from out of town. That's going to be your busiest, most hectic day. So either get there early or just wait till Sunday.
Yeah, and a bunch of Tic Tacs, you know, just in case.
You know, if you brought like Axe, like for men and women, and just walked around spraying it, I don't think most people would mind.
So I was wondering about that. If people, you have people with some issues walking around,
Oh, there are con people that just like don't get a room and don't stop for the whole weekend. So they're just walking around sweating and smelling the whole weekend.
But it's crazy when
That's nothing, man. I see the convention that I go to. People are sleeping in the convention because they'll have like movies and stuff that they'll show till like 2 a.m. And even though you have security walking around, you got so many people that are still at the con doing things so late into the weekend that it's like they really don't even kick people out. And first of all, the convention that I go to, it's just so massively huge that they have all these lounge chairs everywhere, and you just see people sleeping all the time. Like I don't even think they go home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I doubt a lot of people do. Like I've been before, this is a little dated, but the first con I ever went to, like we were playing like board games super late or something in one of the halls, and we're leaving, and there's a line of payphones. If anybody remembers what a payphone is, there's a line of payphones, and underneath those payphones were sleeping con goers.
Underneath the payphone.
some
Wow.
serious,
Yep.
some serious carnage.
Yeah, they were hardcore.
Absolutely.
But it's so much fun, man. You know, it is fun. I enjoy it. You know, all the crap that you have to go through. You know, people trying to smell you. You know, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you have personal space issues, maybe don't go to the dealer room.
Yeah.
The dealer room. And this is.
Well, that's the dealers, people that have brought things to sell.
Drug
Oh,
dealers.
okay.
Drug dealers. There's a room for drug dealers.
It all sounds so, so scary.
You never know, man.
It's not. But
Okay.
but the cons at this point, the last couple years, it's gotten to the point where unless you go in cosplay, you kind of feel out of place because everybody
true.
else is dressed up.
That's true. Or you gotta at least have like a Captain America backpack or something like that,
Something.
Yeah.
or a shield or a sword walking around.
Who have you guys not met that you would love to meet? I mean, obviously living or not. Well, I mean, if I say not living, then you're gonna get Kirby and stuff like that, or and creators like that. But let's go with living. Who would you guys love to meet that you haven't met already?
Frank Miller and Brett Booth.
Yeah, Frank Miller's one for sure.
Oh, I love Brett Booth. Yeah, he's got great art.
Yeah.
I would like to meet Nicholas DeCracy. That's what I want to meet.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. It's funny you guys bring that up because the whole, as we're sitting here talking about the convention scene, because a lot of people on the Comic Book Fanatics Facebook page, they ask advice and stuff in their posts, and we've always tried to tell them, like, if you're going to get a commission or even autographs, we encourage a lot of people just to do it like that Friday, because there's not usually a lot of people at the convention on a Friday. People are still at work, and they haven't gotten out of work yet. But I tell people, man, go Friday, get your signatures, because Saturday is just like a madhouse, and that's almost any convention. And I don't know about anybody else, but me, I do most of my shopping actually on Sundays because the dealers are really trying to get rid of a lot of their inventory, and a lot of prices are discounted. And to me, that's the pattern, the flow that anybody should operate in when going to the convention. What do you guys think?
Yes, that guy was on mute. if you go, all right, so you go on Friday and Saturday, like say you got a 3-day pass. You go Friday, Saturday, and you see a statue you really, really want, wait till Sunday. Wait till that guy's packing up his boxes and ask him what you see. Try to make a deal then, because nobody wants to drag everything back to the car that they pulled out of the car.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was walking out, and there was these kiosks, these people that had these booths. They're like, everything in here is like half off, and of course, they had the most people there. I was also working I was kind of volunteering for my LCS like 3 years ago. All the books on Friday, they were all $1 each. Okay, Saturday they were all 50 cents each. Sunday, all their books were like 25 cents each. They had, I kid you not, probably like 50 people just like vultures, just like some of them would like take 2 long boxes and they're just like hogging up 2 of them, flipping, and it was just a crazy scene, man.
Sounds wild.
It's.
I mean, 25-cent comics. I mean, we can't beat it.
Yeah, I have yet to run into even $1 comic, so that sounds amazing.
What?
Yeah.
I remember paying 25 cents for a comic. Cover price.
Yeah, back issues at my comic store, they charge like the cover price.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
But they don't have just like a dollar section?
You would think
Wow.
I tried to look for one. No, they charge cover price and everything.
Wow.
Okay, but do you
If
go
they know
back?
without the print, they'll charge you twice the price.
So do you go back a couple months later and the same books are still there?
Yeah, it's been times where I've looked at a book and it's still been there, and actually just recently I've visited and he tried to sneak in some books that I was like, I swear I saw that book. Like, no. He was like, oh, I'm giving you a good deal on this. It's normally $70, but I'll sell for $55. I'm like, no, we're good here. Just ring me up.
Okay, so Rez, does your store have a lot of back issues?
Yeah, they've been there for 30 years, so
Oh, wow.
they have tons of back issues. It's just a problem of the pricing is what I encounter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I've been to shops like that, and shops like that are not really used to moving stuff, and I think they've gotten stuck in this rut, this pattern of just this routine of maybe doing things back in the 80s and 90s. But the shop that I go to, they hate back issues. Like, they want to just get rid of them as soon as possible because the longer they sit on them, the more space they take up.
Mhm. Yeah, I see. I'm gonna start probably trying to look for another comic book shop. The one I have here locally, they don't really have a lot of back issues, and they usually charge even more than a cover price, and they don't carry a lot of indie stuff. So I tried to actually bring some stuff in to trade, and they told me they couldn't accept anything. I'm just too indie for them. And I was like, okay. So I went off to this place an hour and a half, away from me. And that place, I tried to bring the same stack of books, and they're like, well, you have to notify us by email first, and then we'll tell you if we can accept it or not. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I have to go through all the trouble for a comic book shop. So I'm thinking online is the best way to go.
Which is your favorite indie publishing company? Do you have one?
Oh yeah, I have to say Fantagraphics.
Really?
Sure.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Oni Press, they're another one.
Yeah, you might mention a couple that I'm not even aware of, for sure.
Yeah, those are some really good ones, and I even have to say, Drawn and Quarterly, they have some pretty good ones. And Image, of course, everyone loves Image.
Yeah, for sure. Have you seen like a bunch of other Aftershock books? The
You know,
Alter.
I have yet to run into like actually reading one.
Right.
But every time I went to that one out of town, the shop out of town, they kept recommending a lot of the Aftershock. But I just I was like a little too new for me, so
You
surprisingly,
definitely
I didn't pick it up.
you definitely need to check out Black Eyed Kids.
Yeah,
We're gonna wait on Justin's review of Alters.
yeah.
And what's the other one? Is it Rough Riders or something to that effect? Or is
I heard that was
What
good.
y'all talking about? Hillbillies? I thought it was Hillbillies.
Oh my God, that's Albatross by Eric Powell.
Oh,
Hillbilly,
okay.
right?
Man, is that book really that hard to get?
Oh,
Yes, I've been trying to get it for weeks now.
I told you, Edwin. I mentioned it to you once, and you were like you thought I was kidding about you just thought I was joking about something. But yeah, those two books, 1 and 2. Good luck finding those bad
Oh
boys.
no, you can pre-order them right now. I just pre-ordered them on TCAF.
Oh, well, there
Are
you
they
go.
first print or second print?
They're reprints though, but
Ah,
I'm like, I only paid like $6.
yeah. We're gonna wait for our connection there, Justin, who's quiet, to get us our copies.
You might have to hook me up with some first
Hook
first
him
printings.
up, dude.
I'm sorry, man. I don't really buy second prints. I mean, I don't care how rare they are. I mean,
I just want to read it. I just want to read it. I want to see how good it is. Because I mean, of course, they're gonna have to put it in the hardcover. If it's this good, they're gonna do it. So I'm looking for that hardcover.
Hillbillies.
Yeah.
All right. Justin, you got anything, man? Justin's over there reading a comic, man. He ain't even paying attention.
I was on mute or something, man.
Oh,
I'm talking the whole time. Holy junk. Yeah, I don't know what. I'm sure that my shop has Hillbilly. I'm sure they do, because my shop's kind of the same way. They've been around for 30 years. They don't run any type of pull list discount or anything like that.
Yeah.
Bunch of junk, but they have everything you can think of. So I'm sure they have it. And Albatross. If not, I'll reach out to the publisher and get the PDF.
Have you guys
What's
read
that?
this?
Glitter
By
Bomb.
Jim Zub? It's good. I had read it yesterday. Let me tell you, good start of a series.
Yeah.
What is it about?
Well, it's this like middle-aged actress. Like she's trying to get back into the scene, and she has this kind of like, I don't know what it is. It's like some kind of mutant power or something where she can stick her tongue out like really long or something. I don't know. It's weird, but it just comes out of her accidentally whenever somebody makes her upset, and it's crazy. It was just like, what am I reading?
Sounds like what is that X-Men character? The Toad.
Yeah.
Didn't he used to do that a lot?
Hey, Rez, can you show that book again? Raise it up a bit.
Yeah.
The art looks pretty sweet. Say something so we don't lose you. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. Hey, the artwork is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Is it,
Surprisingly, I mean, it's really up there. I like that.
Rez, do you read Wayward, or have you read Wayward?
I've been wanting to read that. I've been wanting to, but I just have not gotten around to it.
Okay.
They've collected it, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Jim Zub also did that. So if you like, that book kind of looks like Wayward. I would really recommend Wayward.
Okay, I'll have to look that up. So far on my poll, I got Black Hammer 2 and Eclipse, which is pretty decent.
Oh yeah, who
number one.
showed that book? Yeah.
Edwin?
Yeah.
No, I was just saying I got that one also. I haven't read it yet, but I got it yesterday.
I'm just jumping right into. I haven't even read one yet, but
I'm digging that Eclipse. That's a nice looking book right there.
Yeah.
Is anybody still reading? Go ahead, Justin.
I was just saying, Eclipse is like something happened to the sun, so we can't live on the surface anymore.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, it's pretty much a sci-fi one. But you know what? The same way that Glitter Bomb grabbed me, that Eclipse grabbed me the same way. I didn't feel any different as far as the gravitation that I felt when I was picking them up and actually absorbing them.
Okay. Does anybody still read Lazarus?
Oh, I love Lazarus, but I need that for the next trade. I'm waiting on that trade.
Okay. Yeah, I've collected all of them. I'm pretty far behind, but it was such a great story at the beginning there, and I just got, you just get behind reading other stuff, and it's like, man, where am I gonna find the time to read all this crap? So.
Have you read Letter 44 by Soul? Is it Charles
No.
Soule?
Yeah.
Charles Soule.
Charles Soule.
That is a really good series. I always, for some reason, whenever I read Lazarus, I always end up reading Letter 44 right after. And it's like two really good series. I mean, I highly recommend both of them, to be honest.
Yeah, you kind of read like how I do. Like if I read a Batman and I have like a Justice League, I'll read that next or something like that.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna get into Batman soon.
Batman is awesome.
Go for it.
Batman is
Yeah,
awesome.
I got the Quarter Owls, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you haven't read that yet? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Oh,
I mean,
wow,
I'm committed to the hardcover, so.
It's worth it. That story's worth it, I would say.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, I like Snyder, so
Yeah, and Capullo, like the
Yeah.
art, he's been training to do Batman for 20-something years, doing
Yeah.
Spawn. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. Did anybody read Clone from Image?
Oh yeah, I have all the trades. You like that series?
You read all the way through it?
I've read like the first, was it two of them?
Oh man, the end is gonna piss you off. But
Is it?
don't skip. Just read it all the way through.
Is it like a bad?
It's so good. It's so good.
Okay.
It's just really, really good. That's how Sleepy Reader and I kind of connected because we were both reading Clone, and he's a big indie guy.
Yeah.
But it's such a good story.
Yeah, I like from what I read so far. I really do. I do enjoy it, but I just how you pick something up and you just don't. You're like, I'll move on to something else, and so much books, so little time.
It's
Yeah,
crazy
really.
you guys mentioned Clone because I'd never even heard of the book, and I have one of these reoccurring customers that sends me his books to press, and he sends me good books. It's like, okay, he's on to something. It's pretty obvious he's a reseller, but he also collects. So and I see this Clone book. I'm like, what's this book about? But I mean, the artwork was pretty decent. I was too busy to. Because sometimes I'll read, if a customer sends me a book and I'm like, hey, let me read this before I press it. So if I bend it up while I'm reading it, I'll press it after the fact. So I've done that a lot. I'll read a book that I've never read before. But yeah, it's funny that you guys brought up Clone because I never even heard of that. And then it was pretty good looking book.
I think the big whole idea was that there was a lot of movie talks, or not movie talks, but TV talks for the concept. So I think that's why maybe he sent it, or why people were kind of into it for a short spell.
Well, because it was within the month. At least it was right before the con, so a little over a month ago that he sent me the book. So.
Another book, since we're kind of on that subject, that you may not be picking up, but may also be getting a TV/movie deal, is Faster Than Light from Image.
Really?
Yeah.
With Divine also, they were talking in big talks for when that series was already on trade too.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about that in the series as well, The Wicked and Divine.
Yeah, that one's getting a TV deal. Like it's been signed. They're still developing it though. This one, I did an interview with Brian Haberling, and it was cool because the announcement was coming out, but we had to like delay the video a couple days so that they could announce it on their site, and then we could have the video go up because we couldn't have the exclusive at that point,
Yeah.
But it's really cool, and it's a great story. I love this story. It seems like I'm getting a lot of sci-fi books right now, but it's a good story.
Yeah. But sci-fi is ruling right now, it seems.
Yeah.
That and
With
zombies.
Star Trek.
That and zombies.
Have you
Yeah,
guys
zombies.
been keeping up with East of West?
Oh, I've yet to pick that book up, man. I'm glad you mentioned it. I
Yeah.
guess it's good, huh?
Yeah, it's really good. I'm behind, but You know, when I read it, I loved it. I mean, I sped read it. You know, it was just really easy to get absorbed into.
What's the premise of it? With the story?
Well, I know it's like kind of Western. It reminds me like a Western. It's about, I want to say Satan or something, like maybe they call him something else, but it's his son. Well, him and his wife were separated, and his child was, I believe they thought that the child died or something, but later on we find out the child was abducted and kept in this underground place and hooked up to all these different like machines and stuff, because apparently the son of the devil and the wife makes this like kind of child that can cause like the end of the world, you know, kind of
Yeah,
like similar to Rapture or
I
something.
got a son like that too. He's sleeping.
It's really good. It's really good, but yeah, it's really political too. I've noticed that whenever I hear anybody talking about the reviews, it's a lot of political machinations that are occurring in the story. So when it first came out, you know, you had the apocalypse and the three horsemen make their presence. They were killed and they came back as children. So I remember that was like a big part of the first hardcover, which I guess was the first 2 or 3 trades.
Do you read Saga as well?
Oh yeah, I love Saga.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
right now
everybody
actually
reads
it's on my
Saga.
pull list right now. I just read issue 37, which was
Man, I
awesome.
got some catching up to do. I read the second book, online the other week. I got a lot.
Yeah, it's well, and that's the thing is like the issue that just came out of Saga.
Yeah,
We finally get to see what's been building up since like issue 1. You know,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
so good.
it was. I have a couple of favorite panels in issue 37. They're pretty titillating.
Yeah, it's funny you say Saga because my LCS they got these Saga toys, these San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, and
Yeah.
so like I'm like, oh, that's Saga, so I go over there and I'm checking it out. It's
Yeah.
Buy McFarlane Toys, and I look at the price tag that's like $75. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I guess they're pretty limited, and not only that, but I think a lot of people, really want those things.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Bad. They're gonna pay $75 for. Yeah. I mean, I thought $35 for a figurine was too much.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
you know. I mean, I was thinking about getting into toys. You know, getting me a nice little sizable collection. But when I see the prices of these toys, I'm like, yeah.
The
I think it'd be hard with.
Go ahead.
No, you guys.
I was just gonna say I think it would be hard with kids trying to collect toys. I mean,
Yeah.
they want to like go through all your toys and open them up and play with them and stuff.
Yeah, that's the one thing my kids will, whenever we go into the comic book shop, they have these toys sitting on the counter, and my kids will always grab them and play with them, and I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna end up paying for a whole lot of stuff today, because they're always wanting to touch everything, you know.
Yeah. No, I
So-
hear you.
That's my one trepidation about collecting toys.
This is my only toy that I have.
Ooh, that's nice.
This is hold on a second. My wife and son surprised me with it the other day.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Dude, I know. How
Is
did
it
I
already
go-
broken?
I want a tumbler.
Ah, look at that.
Nice.
Sweet,
Oh.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, my other toy is charging up right now, so I can't show it.
Oh no.
Quack, quack, quack. That was your cue, Edwin. It's sound effects.
My bad, I'm a little late.
Yeah, but I mean, along the same line with toys, like even if you wanted to collect new toys,
Yeah.
your starting point, not counting pops and things like that, but actual like action figure type things, your starting
Yeah.
point's about $20.
Yeah, I was
New
realizing
stuff.
that. Even me, I was trying to, of course, collect some of the toys from my favorite series, which are, indie. So usually that stuff is really hard to find. You have to go on eBay to search for it. But off the bat, it was an Amy and Jordan figurine, and they were charging like $50 just for these 2 little toys. And I thought, oh my gosh, if this is what I'm going to be looking into, yeah, I'd rather just get the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, buying
Yeah.
books is expensive enough, and then when you
Yeah.
get into variants and stuff like that, crazy.
You guys collect
Crazy.
variants?
I love variants. I mean, as much as we knock them,
Yeah.
we end up buying them anyway.
Yeah, I've been
art
getting
is
some
great.
lately. I've been getting to variants.
They have indie variants as well too.
Oh yeah.
You know, usually the first or second of the issues will have variants. You don't really find every single issue will have a variant with indies.
Do you collect any Marvel or any of the DCs or anything like that?
The only Marvel series that I have is Doctor Strange, that newest trade that came out, and
Okay.
then I have Submariner.
Oh, do you like Doctor Strange's art, the new one?
I do. But you know, it's so much other art styles that I prefer. You know,
Right.
I kind of lean more towards the European look, but I can appreciate all art. You know.
Right. I mean, I appreciate art as well. I mean, all facets of it. But I guess I'm used to the old Bronze Age Doctor Strange art.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I'll
Well, yeah,
still
I think
pick
that
up.
looks better. Yeah, the Bronze Age
Oh, yeah,
Doctor
for
Strange
sure.
does look better. I agree.
For sure.
I think for this story arc and what's going on with it, the art and the current Doctor Strange works just because it's such a completely different take or view of the character than we've ever read before.
This is true. This is true. Very psychedelic.
Yeah, very much.
I do have a lot of DC stuff though. I noticed it's just the more indie DC stuff, like DC Vertigo, DC Wildstorm.
Yeah, you're definitely the person to talk to when it comes to indie. Well, although Justin's well versed with indie books too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they both are.
For sure.
All right, so let's move on just a little bit because I'm kind of curious to hear what y'all's thoughts are about this. Does anybody still watch horror films?
Yes.
Like, I know you don't watch them with your kids around, but
Sorry.
everybody still pretty much watch horror films and stuff like that? Because I saw that they're doing another reboot, as if that's original by Hollywood, but they're doing a reboot of the Blair Witch. Do you guys remember that from, like, what was that, like 99 or 2000?
Wow.
Oh, I'm thinking it was around there, if not before. Is it a TV show or a movie?
No,
That's
this is a movie.
The remake?
It comes out this week, yeah.
You know this is not the first I guess it's not the first sequel.
They made a sequel
They
and a
had
prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a sequel and a prequel of that.
Did you guys like it at all?
When the first one came out and I saw it in the theater, it was good for what it was.
Mhm.
I've never wanted to rewatch it.
I rewatched it a few times. I enjoyed it because I thought that, you know, I don't know, it was a rumor in school that was real. So it was something about that drew me to it. But, you know, after you realize it's not real, then you kind of, you know, you feign interest in it.
Yeah, I agree with Jeff. Jeff Johnson mentions in the chat room, he goes, I saw the trailer for the new, I guess, one. It looks pretty much the same. I agree with him. It looks like the same as the original one.
Yeah, except there's like a girl crawling through a pipe. That's the only difference I saw.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for a bunch of horror movies to come out so that the Wayans brothers can just do like a parody of all of it.
Yeah.
That's really what I remember the most is like, was it Marlon Wayans? They had like snot bubbles forming when they were doing that parody.
Scary.
Yeah, scary movie.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy the parody better than the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's my thing. It's like horror movies in general, I'm kind of jaded on because, like, you know, I grew up with all the great slashers like Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers and all that stuff, and then you get into more technical in the beginning of like Saw and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the newer horror movies are just rehashing stuff again. So it's like I've kind of already seen that story. It's just a different setting this time, you know.
I like the demonic ones. Like
What's the one that was based off the Einfield hauntings? The one that James Wan did. You know what I'm talking about? Not the Sinister, but the other one.
I'm trying to.
The Ed and Lorraine Warren was in it.
I can't remember.
I can't think of it.
Yeah, I can never remember the name, but you know what I did before I actually went to the theaters and saw the movie? I actually viewed the Einfield Hauntings, the TV show that BBC did as a special. They did 3 episodes, and I found that actually more frightening than the movie. It's crazy, but that's just how bad these movies are getting. They don't scare you anymore. It's kind of just like, what's going on? I'm wasting my money, $20 for a ticket for popcorn.
I think seeing all this stuff on the internet, where I mean, unfortunately, you know, where they behead a freaking a prisoner or something. It's just desensitized us all as a society. So it's like, oh wow, horror movie. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It
You know
does.
what?
It definitely does that.
That movie Tusk, that is it's not really scary, but it's very unnerving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's
Tusk.
more scary are movies like freaking Room, where like the young girl is kept as a sex slave from that
I
guy.
haven't seen that movie yet.
That's a really good movie.
I heard it is.
It
Brie
got me.
Larson. She's gonna play like, what is she playing? Miss Marvel or something?
Yeah, she is actually.
Yeah.
I started crying. My wife, she put her arm around me, and I was crying.
Oh.
No, I wanted to watch that, but I heard, I think my mom was telling me something about the little boy cut his hair off or something,
Yeah.
and it just sounds so depressing. I don't think I was in the mood to watch something.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
like that.
You know what else is pretty good though is the web series of The Walking Dead. I think they're still doing it, but those are actually pretty good, man.
Actually, the Telltale Games one's better. I find it more emotionally pulling. You ever watch the walkthroughs, or ever do the walkthrough yourself, where you have to make the decision on
Oh
how?
no, I haven't.
Yeah, just one day, just watch one of the walkthroughs on YouTube. People obviously have their own choices that they make, but if you find someone who makes the right choices, like something close to what you would, you find the story just so emotional. I mean, I find myself crying through these walkthroughs. It's crazy.
Huh.
But a lot more emotionally driven and a lot more entertaining than the actual show these days, especially with AMC, with all their drama, taking people's videos down, and all that jazz. I don't know.
Yeah, AMC seems to be the go-to station when it comes to horror now because they got so many Walking Dead out right now. It's like three or four different Walking Dead type of movies through the web, TV, etc. Nerdvision has a question real quick. He says he's wondering if anybody would be interested in buying any magazine-size blank variants so that artists would have a bigger space to draw on.
I would.
What kind of magazines are they?
Just the
No. He's saying
the blank variant.
Like heavy metal and the epic books, those magazine size. He's just referring to, would anybody be interested in buying blank variants of those? I would buy them, for sure.
Well, he's saying that so if you take then that blank variant to an artist, they have more room to draw. So I can see that, but then that won't fit in my long box or my short box. So
That's a good point.
And then
you have to frame it.
And then we'd be limited to only one grading company as of present.
And then the artist will probably have reason to charge you more for a commission as well.
So which one's the best? Which grading company is the best?
Oh no, we don't have to do that.
We don't want to get started on that just yet.
Yeah. Okay.
We have that planned for the third live show.
Okay.
But let me ask you guys, because I saw that they did this with Tokyo Ghost, my comic book shop. They have a 11 by 17 version of the comic book, which I think is a great idea. I know it's costly and expensive, but if they did more of those, especially like in back issues, I would totally be buying those things.
They do those with the Outcast too. Have you seen those big things?
Yeah, I was gonna buy it. It was like $35.
Yeah, I read them. I actually was able to read Outcast because I was watching the show more so than actually reading the comic. So I grabbed a few of them. And
I was gonna buy it because my vision is going, so I figured that big I could read it. But also, where do you put that?
Yeah,
that's like
that's a coffee table book.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who do you get to grade that to?
That's like humanoid style.
PGX. I heard PGX grades them.
You're joking,
somebody
right? You're joking.
Send that in. Let us know.
For sure. I'm gonna start a grading company. So
Can you imagine submitting that? CGC would look at it like, what do you want us to do with this?
serious. I can't press those. That's too big. Damn it.
Oh, man.
Look, what's it? Nerdy Vision says I would buy a Ninja Turtles blank variant, one that's super big. Actually, who brought this up? Edwin brought this up, right? Where Image Comics finally is bringing out their blank cover, which is, I mean, we had Sam De La Rosa mention this too, that it's a great idea. It's a great idea for blank covers.
Yeah, I think it was last week we discovered that Spawn number 265 put out the very first Image Comics blank variants, and they were the very first issued, and they were actually going for like $50, $60 on eBay. I haven't looked lately to see how much they're going for now, but man, they were going for a hefty price the first couple of days.
I mean, just right off the rip, not even being sold
Right
for
off.
anything.
Right off.
Easy.
Well, they buy a company called Scorpion Comics, and they put out two different kinds. They had the regular Spawn logo, which was like a maroon purple, and then they had another logo, which was like an all gold. They were both going for about the same price, but I've never heard of Scorpion Comics.
Dude, you know, when you first mentioned that, I'm like, what does it take to freaking publish a blank cover? Why do they have to go to another company? It's a blank cover, you know. Just, why go to whomever? What, Scorpion?
Well, if you look at Image uses a certain type of paper, and those blank variants have to be like a thicker quality paper in order to draw on, because I don't think that Image puts out any thick pieces of paper like that.
I want to say it's what artists use. Bristol paper might be it. It's that textured paper, thick paper.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know, Justin. What do you think? You quiet back there, brother. Stop reading those books. Wait till after the show.
I don't know. There's too many options. There's too many options.
Dude, how many books you have on your pull, dude? You every time I see you do a show and you pull for a week, you're like, damn, a lot of books, man.
Too many. Well, I'm in the process of trying to dwindle or eliminate some of the DC Rebirth stuff, because I was trying to read all of it just to see what they were doing and be able to talk about it, but slowly dwindling that down. So I don't know. It's normally like new books, 10 to 15 or more a week.
Wow.
Yeah, I only got like 5. I'm barely making it with just 5.
I would like to be at 5.
Most of mine are back issues, because you know my comic book shop doesn't stock up on a lot of these new issues and stuff and new series. Yeah.
Really?
I usually have to jump into a series without 1 or 2, or like Paper Girls. I had to jump in at 8.
That was actually a good book. I haven't kept on with it, but I read the first book. That was pretty sweet.
How does that go for you with newer books? Because like older books, you can do that. You can grab like issue 320, and it doesn't matter. You can just start reading it. But how does, for you, just jumping into a series, let's say like a issue 3 or 4, how does that work for you? I mean, do you still, I don't know, do you like it that way? Or are you able to keep up with the story, or do you immediately go, all right, screw this, I got to go back and get 1 and 2 or whatever?
So far, the only series that I felt like that, where I had to go back and maybe get another issue, was Mirror, because it was very, very condensed. A lot of stuff was going on, and the illustration style was very hard to recognize what exactly was trying to be portrayed. But so far, Paper Girls was pretty easy to jump right into. You kind of get the gist of what's going on. I think certain points were repeated a little bit, you know, and I like that about the series. And House of Penance, I think that's another series I'm kind of glad I received issue 1, you know, of that, because I think that there's maybe some things in there that maybe clarified a little bit for me. But otherwise, I mean, jumping into a series, it doesn't really bother me these days, you know. I kind of just want to absorb information, and if I don't get it, then I just move on, you know. Because I feel like any comic book you pick up should be should be the story. If anything, it should be your first comic book. I don't know.
Right. Every comic is somebody's first comic.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think if you keep up with a lot of social media sites, you can find out good jumping on points because I found out about what was that Invincible number like 110 or 111 was a good jumping on point, and
Yep.
to that point I had never read a single Invincible issue, and once I started reading it with who was it? Is it Charlie Adler? His artwork, along with I think Robert Kirkman was
Yep.
writing or still might be writing the story.
Yep, he is.
I actually, fell in love with it, and actually I was reading Invincible Universe at the same time as well, so I got some familiarity with the characters pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a great book, and it's sad that it's ending.
Yeah, is it canceled? I was kind of confused. Why is it stopping at the point that it was a 147?
Something like that.
Weird
But yeah,
number. Stop it.
he's done with the story at this point.
But I guess because he's doing Outcast and he's still doing The Walking Dead, which I don't think anybody wants to end at this point.
Ooh,
Yeah,
It's too
he was
much of a
also doing
moneymaker.
Thieves as well.
Yeah. Outcast is pretty good though. I can see where I kind of feel like it's getting up there as far as it could leave an imprint just as much as The Walking Dead, maybe eventually. I just think he does really good work.
Is the book better than the TV show, or the TV show better than the book? Because I love the TV show.
You haven't been reading any of the issues?
I don't know, man. That's like is the book better than the movie question?
But I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
From like a novel perspective.
I like the first
That- but that-
episode. That first episode was really good, and it was some points in there that didn't happen in this series, in that first issue. But they both seem like beat for beat. They felt the same to me. So I don't know,
well, because that's not the case like with The Walking Dead, where the TV show is a lot different. I mean, the premise is still the same thing, and the characters, well, except for one or two, but it's definitely more different than the book, and vice versa.
I mean, it's slightly different. It's not, a huge difference. Like, they mix a few things up because of the same characters that are in the book or the same ones that they want to introduce in the TV series, and they don't want you to be able to completely follow along with the comic book. But one of the things I recommend, Jose, is take the family to the library or Barnes & Nobles and read, like, the first 2 or 3 trades, man. It sucked me in, and I can imagine if I did that with a couple of y'all. Like The Walking Dead.
Of The Walking Dead? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously both books, too, because Outcast, I think, would fit in that category, too.
Mm-hmm.
For
I
sure.
think so.
For sure.
That's
And
how
the
I
artwork doesn't even bother you either, just because the story's so good.
Well, that's the one thing. What was the book? Shit. Oh my goodness. Preacher. Preacher was a book, right? Where
Oh, yeah.
I love the show.
I didn't like the
Nice.
show. I didn't like the show very
I
much.
love the show, but when I first, and this was again when I was pressing it for a customer, the artwork was like, and me, I'm first art, then story. I just can't help it. Just like with the Old Man Logan, most recent series, I'm like, yeah, I love Wolverine, blah blah blah, Old Man Logan. I couldn't get past the art. I stopped
Who's
it
doing
from.
the art on Old Man Logan? I forgot.
I'm sorry.
Who's doing the art on Old Man Logan? I forgot.
Ooh, Justin, you might know that one, buddy.
Was it Sorrentino, or was that who it was?
I was looking at it the other day, and it didn't grab me either. So.
Yeah, the art.
Old Man Logan.
It's bad enough where I stopped. I ended my pull of it. But Saga, the Preacher was another one that was like, I'm gonna still give it a shot.
Yeah, I haven't tried to collect any more of Preacher. I've read a lot of them in the store, but I stopped at book 1 as far as collecting it because I'm not the biggest fan of the art either for some reason.
Yeah, and that'll that's a deal breaker for me sometimes. If the art is just not there,
Yeah.
I just can't get past it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me, guys.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, unless you already know it's something that you expect, like a webcomic, that the art's going to be a little iffy. Like I've been collecting webcomics a lot as of late, and usually you find little weird drawings or.
Do you actually pay for webcomics?
No, yeah, I pay for the books. Normally I just read it online.
I do everything through Cody. Fire TV and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I have that too. I have that.
So Read Comics, look it up. It's an app and it's through jeez.
How do you download? See, how do you download stuff on that? Because I have my thing. I don't know if I need it updating or something.
Check out my the first series of videos that I have on my YouTube. Yeah. I go into how to install it, blah blah blah. That's how I
did mine for me, but I can't. I've only been able to get some cam quality, movies.
No, man. Right. You can get 720, 1080. Yeah, obviously the first week the movie's out, then you might have to settle for cam. But
yeah, because I haven't watched Sausage Party in cam style. Yeah.
Which one? Which one?
Sausage Party.
Which one's that? Oh, Sausage. Sausage Party. That's too funny.
I'm the effing douche, dude. Bro.
But yeah, man, you got it. There's an app in there called Read Comics.
Yeah.
Dude. Although I can't get freaking more past, I can't get after Black Eyed Kids 3, and I'm like, I gotta go buy it from my LCS.
I like scary comics. Is it scary?
No, that's a great book, and I think the rest of the panel agree, man. That's a great book.
Yeah, it's like a thriller.
I should get it because I just kind of was I didn't know what it was gonna be about. I was hoping it was gonna be good. I just didn't know.
You gotta check it out. That's a great book.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I thought it was right there with like a Nail Biter and.
Oh, I love Nail Biter.
Dark and Bloody. Did anybody read Dark and Bloody by Vertigo?
Dark and Bloody. I haven't heard of that.
Is that what it's called? Dark and.
No, I mean.
I'll have to look it up.
What the hell was that?
Sorry, I had my alarm going off to remind me to do something.
You're good, man. Forget those sound effects.
Yeah, really.
Oh man.
It's too funny.
Man.
All right, so Justin, you've been quiet. You got anything to say before we get ready to wrap this up?
No, I was just looking up Old Man Logan. I made sure that it was Andre Sorrentino that was doing the art for that.
And that's who it was?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I can look at you guys on the panel. I can figure out who looks at comics for the story and who looks at comics for the art. Yep, Snot Girl.
Yeah. Anybody's reading that? That's what it does.
I almost picked it up, but I just couldn't hold myself to do it.
I got a copy just to get a copy, and I have yet to read it.
Yeah, you like it. It's cute. It's cute.
First print. It's definitely geared to the female audience, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
I mean, I've read better, but everyone was talking about it, so.
Yeah. That one cover was pretty sweet. I think it was exclusive to one of the cons. That was a sweet looking cover for a Snot Girl.
Well, I gotta see that one. What you're talking about? I don't know.
I think it's got like a green tone to it. The cover.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
For Snot.
Yes.
Yeah, like the first cover maybe.
For Snot.
Yeah. I just realized now why they did it green.
Good job.
Yeah.
I'm slow. I'm telling you, I'm getting old.
This is a good series.
The Hunt.
She's got some sweet looking books, dude.
It seems like anything that's coming out from Image and Shadowline is pretty good.
Yeah. This is like really, it's like an Irish type of witchy type of story. It's really cool. I like it.
I'm ending all my freaking pulls, man, except for Batman and Superman, because I'm digging that new Rebirth. And I'm gonna start freaking just collecting indie, man. You guys are freaking selling me on the idea. It's like every book you guys show, the art is good, so that gets checked off on my list of good to buy a book. And from what you guys say, anyways.
No. I'm glad you said that because that was one of the main reasons why I wanted Rez to come on here because so many people talk about the big two. I think that indie comics need their fair share of credit.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Maybe I'll get into a little bit Marvel after. I haven't seen anything yet that it grabs me. I mean, it's only one Marvel book that I've been looking at, but it's out of print, and it's the Jessica Jones Alias story.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's about to come back.
Well, see, you guys will probably hear me talk about that one. that's the only one. I don't think any other character at this moment is grabbing me. Where I'm kind of maybe Luke Cage. I don't know if they came out with something. Like, did they have an omnibus on him or something? You know, it's maybe Daredevil, maybe, I don't know.
But
I,
didn't they come out with?
I got a couple of David Mack run. You know.
Didn't they come out with a pretty sweet Black Panther run too? Or that's not?
I think they did. I think I ran into one at the store.
Yeah, I got the first issue. I didn't really. I don't know.
I never really knew
I like
who
him
he
as a
was.
team. I like him on a team, but not as a solo character.
Not happening. That one cover looked pretty sweet. I think who was it? Adam Hughes who did it?
Yeah, but I would say, Rez, if you're not, I mean, other than Doctor Strange, I would just wait till the all-new Marvel, all-different again event thing happens, when they renumber everything again, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, but what about like Miles Morales in Spider-Man? Isn't that supposed to be pretty decent? I've got like a shitload that I have to catch up.
Yeah. Bendis, Bendis is still writing that. He's always, written Miles, so that one's solid as story goes. And I think the art, it was Sarah Pacelli, who's amazing. She does great stuff, but I think she's leaving that book really soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know how that one will go. It started off awesome though. Like first issue, first page, he's in New York City fighting Darkheart.
Okay.
It was like, what's going on?
Already action off the bat.
Yeah, and it looked so good.
Yeah, see, I like when they do that. That's how you grab somebody in, when you're already starting jumping in with some crazy shit going down, you know?
Yep.
Indeed.
Now I know what I wanted to ask you guys, because I was watching Rez's video, and all the books that she gets, all the books that she has in her background, and I was looking at Jose, all the books that you got. Justin, I don't know how extensive your comic book collection is, but at what point do you just say, enough is enough, I need to either stop or just get rid of some stuff?
When you have children.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it becomes a space issue, I guess, is at that point. Otherwise, you don't think about it.
Yeah.
You know, Justin, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was watching your video for this week, and you mentioned that somebody had asked you about storage, and I'm like, it gets. I mean, look at mine. Shit. And
boxes.
And the funny thing is that I got a customer who's gonna send me a collection of like almost 3,000 books, and I'm like, where the hell am I gonna put all this shit?
Wow, that's a lot.
That's to press 3,000 books, so I'm gonna be pretty.
What's that cost? I mean, it just seems like it's really like a lot of money.
I only charge $200 a book. It's not that pricey. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, man.
He's about to retire.
Yeah.
I had my poker face on when I said it.
Yeah.
We could talk
what I mean, mine are just all in long boxes and short boxes, and the pile gets wider and taller and wider and taller. So.
Yeah, but if you put a bunch of long boxes together side by side and put a mattress on it, you don't need a bed frame. You just sleep on that.
Good point.
Right.
I'm telling you, I'm running out of shelf space. I'm trying to make things shelves. It's crazy. It's gotten out of control.
But do you guys reread your stuff a lot, like everything, or do you have just favorites?
I go back for reference, like when I'm writing something or somebody's talking about something or somebody will ask a question. So I use mine as like a lot of reference stuff. Like I'm digging back through and I'm like, what issue did that one thing happen? Okay, here it is. Let me see. Okay, that's how it happened. And then I put it back down.
Yeah,
So
I do the same thing. Like I had someone ask me about my Too Much Coffee Man video, and they were asking me where should they start, and I was like, oh, okay, let me grab the omnibus and flip through and think about what is a good point for them to start. So that's like what I'll have to usually, I keep them for a reference point and nostalgia, and I guess the necessity just to have books. I guess I don't know, just to have a nice fancy library.
Oh yeah.
But are all books in order? That's the question.
No.
Yep. Mine's is an order of publisher.
See, but buying books is like getting a tattoo, man. You can't stop at one,
No. And I used to try to do that, Rez. Like I had my Marvel boxes, my DC boxes, and my indie box, right?
Yeah.
And then that just didn't work. So now everything's just alphabetical order. It's all just alphabetical order.
I started that way. I started alphabetical, but I found that, like, for instance, when I did my first video on my collection, it was so annoying because I had all this one series that could all been together. It would be just sprawled out, and then it's just like I'll get lost in my own collection. So then I say, you know what? I'm grouping this stuff together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Well, yeah, no, it's bad. Like for crossovers, say like for the Black Vortex, which was X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord. There were like several books.
yeah.
What I do is like the issue 1 or chapter 1, I'll put a note in the back of the bag and board of what the next issue is.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Need to start doing like whole reading lists for things like that and just stick them in there.
Might just give me a file cabinet and just have like these.
There you go.
In between, you know?
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is you can go to Pinterest and look at like comic book storage ideas, and people have made all these amazing things, and they've like recessed walls and all this blah blah blah, and I'm like, that's awesome, but you're still gonna run out of space.
Jose,
You know, I
we get
should
the
get rid of a
spinner
big
rack.
giant box full of books recently. I'm telling you.
What's that?
As I've been trying to get rid of a box full of books, I'm like, you know what? I'm going
Send
to
them to me. Send them to me. I ain't trying to get rid of them.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll say thank you.
No, let me stop Rose right there just for a second, because I'm actually glad she brought this up, because I was thinking about this and trying to figure out a way to ask you guys, and you gave me an awesome segue. On Comic Book Fanatics, a guy was trying to sell a whole bunch of his books. They were like, nothing was really key. There were a lot of common filler issues. And he's like, does anybody want to buy them? Nobody was saying anything. He was like, you know, I can't get anything for him. And I told him, I said, look, when I was in Michigan before we moved to Houston, I had a bunch of books. And I know you can't carry those things everywhere. And I know comic book shops don't want them. So I thought about the idea. I was like, well, there's a lot of children's hospitals where we lived at. So I just got into this habit of taking all the stuff that didn't really mean anything to me and just donating them to the children's hospital. I came to realize real quick that the kids loved it, and they loved it every time I came there. I probably went there like 5 or 6 times just donating like stacks of books. And you know, you can always use that stuff as a write-off as well. And I wrote that crap off, man. Like, it was cover price. I don't care if a comic book shop was selling that thing for like 10 cents. I looked on it, I said, you know, it's $1, it's $1.25, it's a $3 book. That's what I'm using as my write-off.
Damn, that's actually a great idea, man.
That's really good. I'm gonna do that. You know what? Because I was like, you know, I'm not the kind of person that sells on eBay or Amazon, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would say though, just watch the content. I mean, you obviously don't want like saga or any kind of nudity or anything like that.
Yeah, I was thinking
given
about
to
that.
a children's hospital.
I was thinking about giving my heavy metal run.
You didn't tell me you had heavy metal.
Dude, I got heavy metal. I got.
We need to talk. We need to talk.
Yeah, I got some of those oldies. What people these days call oldies. I'm like,
I will lift it up. I got my two big crates full of my whole run of
way. No
77
way.
all the way to 90.
That's sweet. That's pretty cool,
Yeah.
man. Very cool. Awesome.
I love heavy metal.
Heavy metal's awesome. Epic too as well. Very cool.
I haven't gotten to Epic yet, but I have the Metal Verlant, you know, the ones that they did in the 2000s.
How about that movie, Heavy Metal? Jeez.
Oh man, I watched all. You know what? I have to make sure the kids are asleep when I watch that one, because my son, one time I guess I didn't know he was in the door, and the next day when he was drawing pictures, he drew like a lady with boobies.
Hey, he's
Like, wait a minute.
gonna see him eventually.
I was like, I mean, it was because you know how he's a kid, so his drawings are really kid-like. But he had these 2 circles with little other circles in there, and I'm like, what is this?
That's too
Wow.
funny. Yeah, that was a great story. That was a great book.
He didn't want to tell me what it was either. He didn't want
He's like, guess, mommy, guess.
yeah. I said, what the hell?
That's too funny.
All right, so let's go ahead and do closing shout-outs and thoughts and anything that you guys want to say. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. Let's go ahead and start out with who wants to go first?
I'll go.
You go first.
Yeah, I'll go. That's fine. Thanks to everybody for, joining us here today. This is a great first episode, I think, Edwin. Big thanks to Rez for joining us for the first time. Jose, you're always with us, so whatever.
I appreciate that, man.
We love your mustache, man. We love your mustache.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm gonna grow it just like yours. I'm totally into it.
That's right. Mustache Bros.
And I'm gonna have the twisty going on too. Definitely.
Just like Tony Stark and Doctor Strange.
Mustache Bros. I'm gonna go with Doctor Strange. You do Tony Stark. Although Tony Stark.
I'll take the money. Okay. Deal.
Exactly.
But
there you go.
But yes, I mean, same thing. Like everything we talked about was great. Big thanks to everybody in the chat. Nerdivision for keeping us going. Don Comic Book Junkie was in there. Jesse popped in. JLS for a little while, so that was really cool. My shout out will be for Stranger Things. Everybody just go watch Stranger Things. If you haven't yet, go watch it.
Oh,
It was amazing.
It was.
Yes, I agree.
My wife burned through it.
Oh, I literally finished it like an hour before we started this.
Did you? So you're in the Stranger Things movie, aren't you?
I waited for whatever reason. I was just like, nah, it's whatever. And then I started it, and it was so good.
I can't wait till season 2 comes out.
Yeah.
Man.
We got to find Elle.
Yeah. She's like my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
She's awesome, dude.
Wasn't she?
Yeah. All right, so that's all I got. But, yeah, check me out this week. New comics are going up everywhere, or videos. And then articles up over on comicbook.com as usual.
If new comics are going up everywhere, let me get some.
I know, right?
It's raining comics.
I was just about to say that.
Hallelujah.
Jose, how about you, brother?
Me, again, I'm a Cancer. I just started collecting comic books last week, and I press books. I'm a presser. I like how Edwin refers to me, our preferred presser. I'm digging that. Thanks. And
that should be on your business card.
It's
preferred presser.
There you go.
Presser. And I'm also in an independent comic book publishing company called GLBK Studios. It's Grumpy Old Bastard Comics, and I'm their social media coordinator, also inker, colorist, and I was gonna say fluffer, but no, I'm not that. But I'm just full of jokes today. But anyways, man, you guys could come check out my channel, Comics and Stuff, and we talk about all things comics and stuff. And you know what? Let's hear it for Edwin, man. This is his first live show. This has been kick butt. So let's hear it for Edwin.
Well, thank you very much, guys. I was just glad to be able to put this together. Let's go ahead and get Rez. Rez, what are your thoughts and shout-outs?
I want to give a shout-out for the show River. I've been telling everybody about River. It's a Netflix show. It's a great show to binge on, especially if you just finished Stranger Things. Oh, okay. It's not like a sci-fi so much, but it's a thriller type of procedural, kind of creepy. It's really good. Just watch it. I don't want to describe it too much and spoil it for anybody, but it's Stellan Skarsgård in there, so if you like the Skarsgård family, then you will really like that show. Very good. I highly recommend it. I promise you will not be upset about it. You won't be let down. And of course, you can find me at Rez, and I just call my channel Rez Reads because I read a lot.
Sorry about the clap. I clapped too soon. All right. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to everybody who came on the panel. Rez, Jose, Justin. Thank you very much, Justin. Everybody in the chat, Nerd Vision. What was his name? what was it, Simplify Comic Guy,
Simplified.
John.
The
Yeah.
comic book junkie.
Simplify, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the comic book junkie. So thank everybody in the chat. This was pretty fun, and I hope to be able to do it again. But that's it. We're gonna let everybody go. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Not just this channel, but everybody else in the panel. I will leave descriptions and links to everybody's YouTube channel in the description below. So make sure you check everybody else out. Keep God first in your life. Enjoy your comic books, and God bless you guys. We're out of here.
God bless everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Edwin.
All right.